Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this WWE Raw review for the 21st of January 2019. There is a lot to talk about. We might as well start with Sasha Banks' ass. Okay, why not? Why not? Now, I don't think they did this on purpose. I saw a few people online saying that it might have been done on purpose. Obviously, WWE has been getting a little bit more risque. Yeah, you know, we've had a few moments with Alexa, with Mandy Rose, kind of where they've undressed a little bit. And now we had Sasha with her whole backside on show, basically. I don't think this was on purpose, though, because here in the UK, the moment that it happened, the screen went blank for a second. I didn't know if it was just my screen, but I had people in the chat saying that it had happened to them as well. There are pictures obviously doing the rounds on Twitter. If you want to see those pictures, go to Twitter. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I think it was an accident, unless they're like bluffing us and they're just trying to get us to talk about it even more. But I think it was a mistake. Natalya accidentally pulling down Sasha's shorts, trunks, for that brief moment. She pulled them back up, and well, it's live, it was seen, and it certainly got the internet talking. The match itself I thought was quite good. It was the main event match. We got Sasha Banks and Bayley against Natalya and Ronda, and the big news here was that Sasha and Bayley win. So does that mean that Ronda now has suffered her first defeat? Is that officially Ronda's first defeat in WWE? Because if so, it was very throwaway. Like, Sasha getting the submission victory made Natalya tap. And honestly, a lot of this match I thought was very good. Obviously, they were face to face, and Ronda seems very heated, seems very angry. Not really for any reason. Like, Sasha's talking trash, and this thing's like got quite hot quite quick, and it has to because the Royal Rumble's on Sunday. But I suppose it shows just how bad the booking's been, the fact they've left it so lastminute.com, that they've had to throw together a bit of a story that doesn't make a great deal of sense. So yeah, we've got all of that happening. The show started with Martin Luther King video package, which was cool. We then got Brock coming out. Horrible promo from Paul Heyman. Really didn't like it. Just, it didn't seem to go anywhere. It was the same old promo we've heard many times before. And then Vince came out, and I thought that was going to be great. You know, Vince in the ring with Brock. What happens there? What is Vince going to say? Why has Vince come out? Well, it turns out Vince came out to tell us about David and Goliath, or some kind of variation of that story. And honestly, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It was just a really bad promo. A lot of people that I could see on Twitter and in the chat during the live stream we were doing really were not fans of it. And then Finn Balor came out, kind of carried on that whole story. It was just a really bad angle. One F5 to Finn Balor later, and you kind of get the gist. So I don't think too many people are expecting Finn Balor to win at the Royal Rumble. I'm not either. But I think what was really disappointing is that we didn't have it teased that the Demon was going to be there, the Demon King. And I think a lot of people would have been more interested to have seen Demon Finn Balor against Brock Lesnar. I feel like we will get the Demon King. This is Finn's big shot. And if you're not going to bring out the Demon King now, when are you? So, you know, it's Royal Rumble, it's one of the big 4 pay-per-views, it's for the Universal Championship, you're up against Brock Lesnar, you're going to be killed, bring out the Demon. After that, we had a Bobby Lashley posed down against Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is getting a bit of a push at the moment. Obviously, the Revival, who we saw later, are obviously being used a bit more now. Sasha Banks, who was in the main event, along with Bayley, obviously being used a little bit more now. Zack Ryder was on this show. Kurt Hawkins was on this show. It just feels, I wonder if there's something going on. I wonder if there's a reason why all of this underutilized talent is now being put. I can't think of any. I can't think of any new promotions or any reason as to why they'd be pushing them now. It's just, crazy. But yeah, we had this pose down. It was pretty awful. I mean, well, not the pose down. I mean, both of them are built like gods. But it led to a match. The match really wasn't great. I think there was a little botch in there as well. Because Apollo picked up Bobby Lashley, and Lashley fell hard, like in this gorilla press slam. Moments later, Apollo went for it again, kind of suggesting that the first one was a bit botched. I don't think you would do that move 2 times in a row, and he did. So, hard to tell. But honestly, up to this point, pretty awful Raw. Next, we got a passionate promo from Seth Rollins. It was very good. He was talking about the fact that not long ago he had titles, he had brothers, now he's got no titles and a broken family. This brought out Drew McIntyre, who was very passionate as well, referred to himself as Drew freaking McIntyre. Obviously the two were scheduled for a match. They had that match. It was a very good match. Really did enjoy it. Maybe the highlight of Raw, hard to say, but certainly Raw picked up some points here. Seth Rollins picking up the victory, and there were "This is awesome" chants. But you pretty much guaranteed that at some point during every Raw anyway. So I'm not sure how much weight you can put into that. Next, backstage with Vince. Vince was everywhere on this show. Backstage with Vince, and he was with The Revival. The Revival asking for another title opportunity, which they were given. And Kurt Hawkins, who just happened to be there, was made guest referee. Obviously, the reason for this we would find out later on. I did like the line. Kurt Hawkins said, "Yeah, I can be a ref. I've seen a lot of 3 counts recently." Which I thought was very clever. So yeah, that was quite fun. I was kind of into that bit. Lucha House Party beat Jinder and the Sings. No one really cared. Elias was talking trash about Baron Corbin. The promos were okay, but honestly, no one really cared. I can tell you as well that Corbin actually beat Elias in a match that was booked straight after. It's really hard, you know, to kind of get some feuds going if they're going to just give you the matches. I know it kind of means that the matches have more purpose, but shouldn't we be building towards something? It's like Apollo and Lashley had a little falling out. Match was made in the very next segment. Corbin and Elias had a bit of a falling out. Match was made in the very next segment. It's like there's no build anymore. The payoff is just the next segment straight away. So yeah, again, you know, Raw not great up till this point. Moment of bliss with Alexa. Finally something good happened. Something for us to get our teeth into. She was talking about the Royal Rumble. She mentioned 21 women that had been confirmed. And then like loads of women came out. And then there was a massive brawl. It was really good. The fighting actually carried on backstage. I wanted more of that brawl. I wanted to see them fighting more. We only got a very small part of it. Then we cut back to Alexa, and Alexa announced she would be in the Royal Rumble. That is big news. Alexa Bliss, obviously, out with concussion, has been out for quite a while, medically cleared now, and so she will be in the Royal Rumble. Lacey Evans came out, and Lacey Evans said that she was going to be in the Rumble as well. I think that takes us to about 23 women, so 7 places left. Might get a few more added on SmackDown Live. Don't know if there'll be any announcements about NXT. There's still room for surprises, but that window is getting shorter and shorter. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what's in store there. But a big moment, Alexa announcing she would be in the Royal Rumble. Titus O'Neil announced he would be in. I feel like he's going to fall over. Dean Ambrose announced that he would be in. I'm not sure if he had announced that before, but it was announced on the show. So there were little moments happening all throughout the show. It did get me thinking about the fact, could you imagine Adam Cole being in the ring and then Kenny Omega comes down? I know it's a long shot. I know he's meant to be going to AEW. I'm just saying, if he did, what a moment. Them two face to face, the history that they've got. And then they could like work together. And eliminate some people together. I'm not saying Kenny would win the Rumble. I'm not saying Adam Cole would win the Rumble. I'm just saying, as a moment, I would struggle to think of anything bigger or better than that. Heavy Machinery next. Otis Dojovic, who people seem really excited for. He came down, didn't get too many. In fact, I can't remember any, but he did the caterpillar in the ring, bit of the worm, going up and down, which was pretty cool to see. Obviously, Heavy Machinery picking up the victory here against the Ascension, and not the best, actually. I think it's just kind of expose them and get them out there, not expose them in the Sasha way. But, yeah, just kind of get them out there, get people familiar to who they are. But they're going to have to do a little bit more than this if they're going to make it on the main roster. Bobby Roode, Chad Gable against the Revival was next. And obviously Kurt Hawkins was guest ref, as we said. And there was a lot of cheating from the Revival. Hawkins stopped it. Every single time they did, they put their legs on the ropes, they were trying to trip people over, they were doing loads of different things. Hawkins was really good as a ref, and as a result, Roode and Gable retained their championships. The Revival would attack Kurt Hawkins after, which would bring down Zack Ryder. Looks like Edge heads might be getting back together. Kind of felt like there was a little moment where they shook hands. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see them as a tag team going forward. So could Kurt Hawkins' losing streak finally be coming to an end? Maybe. Maybe. Gotta mention as well, Zack Ryder's "still here" written on the front of his trunks was hilarious. This brought us to the main event, and beforehand Ronda was talking very passionately backstage, saying that she is the boss's boss. Sasha cut a little promo just before the match as well, saying that, you know, she wasn't handed everything like Ronda was. She was setting the record last year at the Royal Rumble for being the woman in the match the longest, not just walking out afterwards and getting a WrestleMania match. Some nice little digs here, some nice little moments. Of course, in the match, the exposure happened, which I'm sure is going to be the major talking point of Raw. And it should be the fact that Sasha got the submission victory on Natalya, which I think means Ronda loses her first match. I mean, she was in the team, she lost the match, even though it wasn't her that was pinned or submitted. She takes an L. She definitely takes an L. Just a really weird way for her streak to come to an end. And that was it, guys. Lots of good stuff. It's great to see some of these teams kind of matching now. You know, you've got the Boss and Hug Connection wearing the same ring attire. Well, same colours, I should say. Obviously, Gable and Roode now both wear the robes, have got the same ring attire. They've even both got their own little platforms that they rotate on. So, yeah, you know, they are throwing a lot of single stars together. But at least they are trying to make them like teams. I do feel like Roode and Gable need a tag team name. And I do hope that Ryder and Hawkins wear matching ring attire and get a tag team name as well. Edge heads is fine. And they could even have Edge come back and kind of mentor them a little bit, which could, you know, lead to some funny segments. So definitely a lot going on. Obviously the Royal Rumble this weekend. We will be live streaming that over on Twitch. Come and join us over there because there will be figure giveaways, live reactions. It's the big one, guys. It is the big one. So join us over at Twitch Wrestling Days. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.